Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to be talking about the Mountain Goats. Now, more precisely, I'm going to be talking about the Post-Boombox years, which is basically what I've collected here on CD, and I'm going to show you as quick as possible. And I've got a really great medley that's going to introduce you to the sound of this absolutely wonderful band. The band is led by singer-songwriter John Darnielle, and he was essentially the Mountain Goats for pretty much throughout the 90s. Whatever he released from like 91 to about maybe 1999, 2000, it was all recorded on this boombox. Now, not this exact one, but this model. And he was and is an incredibly gifted songwriter. This is somebody who uses distinct phrasing and fantastic lyrics and mesmerizing and enchanting music to draw the listener in. And it seems so effortless. Everything just flows, and every album seems to have a different type of theme, and every song plays out like maybe a chapter to a book, or maybe a book itself. Now, you just can't listen to a song like halfway and turn it off. You kind of want to know what happens, because it starts in one place and might end somewhere completely different. It's as if he takes a pop or a folk or an alternative rock or an Americana formula and says, poof, I don't need that. I'm going to do this my way. Every album contains songs that are completely different from each other, even production-wise. Maybe you're going to get an acoustic guitar and a little brass section, or an acoustic guitar and strings, or a piano and acoustic guitar. And the albums have this wonderful flow to them. They're emotional, they're deep, they can be haunting, they can be joyful, they can be funny, but they are always compelling. Now, this video has been a long time coming because I can never figure out how to present this band to you. A lot of people expect me just to focus on the 80s or focus on my ski lodge stuff. And, my tastes are way more varied. So I do listen to a lot of modern music, and I try to talk about it as much as possible. The Mountain Goats is one of those bands, an incredible, wonderful body of work that continually enchants me, because I'll go back and I'll find something maybe that I missed before. And even some of the songs in their simplicity, there's still a lot of layers, because you can hear a certain emotion or a vocal delivery that tells a different story than his lyrics are. And it's just really absolutely incredible. But like I said, this video is going to focus on the Post-Boombox years, basically when he signed to the 4AD label and then the Merge Records label. Now, the Merge Records label is my favorite stuff. I also love the 4AD stuff. But before I really get into this, I just want to tell you how I got into, or actually was introduced to, the music of the Mountain Goats. And that's because I was being an intern at KUCI, which is a radio station at UC of Irvine. And I was a good 10 years older than anybody else there, because I just wanted to have a radio show. So I would, intern and do a bunch of little odd jobs in order to earn my spot. Now, unfortunately, my spot was 3 o'clock in the morning on Sundays, where nobody listened, but I at least still got to get on and play music in hopes that I could introduce somebody to some band. But anyway, one of the nights that I was interning there, they had an in-studio guest playing songs. And I discovered, right when he got there and set up and started playing, that it was John Darnielle from the Mountain Goats. And I found the songs thoroughly enchanting. But then when he signed to 4AD Records and started to do these professional studio recordings, that's when I started paying attention. But I didn't really dive in until he signed with Merge Records. So let's quickly go through these albums. I'd love to introduce you to this band. As I mentioned before, there's pop, there's folk, there's Americana, there's rock, there's alternative, there's post-punk, there's songs of beauty, and there's songs that are humorous. And on their albums, there are songs that are going to make you think, songs that are going to make you feel, songs that are going to make you scratch your head. But as I said before, it's compelling, it's riveting, and it's a really, truly wonderful band. So let's start with the 2002 album called Tallahassee. That's the first album on 4AD, and this shows him expanding. It's in studio, and he has a couple players playing with him. and it's moody, and it's not too dissimilar to his boombox stuff, but it sounds better. And he's really honing his craft. After basically 10 years, 11 years of writing songs, and this was just a really truly great album. Every album has a theme. You don't need to know the theme really to understand the feelings and the emotions on an album. Now let's go to 2004's We Shall All Be Healed. This is another album on the 4AD label. And here is an album called The Sunset Tree from 2005. This album here has a very popular Mountain Goat song called This Year, and that is a wonderful album. 2006 gave us an album called Get Lonely. And as the albums progress, they're adding more instrumentation. But you see, the thing about the band's arrangements is, you're going to hear piano and horns or something on this track, but you're not going to hear it on the next, because he's only adding these extra instruments when they're necessary. And some songs have to display stark emotion, so they're going to be a stark, simple arrangement. And sometimes he wants to bring out a jubilant thing, so he's going to bring a little brass section or something. Just really, it's just incredible. 2008, out comes the album Heretic Pride, and he's starting to build up this great band, and they just keep getting stronger. And his songwriting continues to evolve and get better, because he's approaching different subjects all the time, and he's nailing the emotions. He's really touching on subjects that everybody can relate to, and whether he's singing about himself or just being an observer, it doesn't matter, because it's touching the listener. So absolutely wonderful. And then the last album on 4AD is The Life of the World to Come. Came out in 2009. Again, just absolutely stellar. But then he signed with Merge Records. Now, all these albums on 4AD are definitely very much recommended. And me being a pop kid and somebody who hears music emotionally rather than just listens to music, this next batch of albums is just truly incredible. This is an album called All Eternal's Deck, and this came out in 2011. The thing about his lyrics is he's always surprising you. But the surprises also come in a chord change, or the way a piano comes in and out of the song. It's just really, truly amazing. Transcendental Youth from 2012 is the next album. Beat the Champ was 2015, and that's a concept album about professional wrestling. So some of you may want to check that out if that is a subject that excites you. But even if it's not a subject that excites you, it's still a beautifully moving album. Did I tell you that he writes moving, wonderful songs? Incredible lyricist. I'm not going to compare him to Dylan or Chris Difford or anybody like that, but you're going to be mesmerized by what this guy comes up with. It's truly amazing. The next album is called Goths, and this is really about goths. Those kids that you went to school, Susan the Banshees, Bauhaus, The Cure. It doesn't sound like that, but there are songs about it. In fact, there's a song here called Abandoned Flesh that sings about the world forgetting about Gene Loves Jezebel, and just there's great little horn punches in it, and it's nothing like Goth or Gene Loves Jezebel, and that's the brilliance in the Mountain Goats and John Darnielle. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons, In League with Dragons is an album that deals with Dungeons and Dragons. The lyrics were inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. Incredible piece of work. Now, remember when I told you the first roughly 10 years of his career was recorded on a boombox? Well, he went back to that very same boombox and recorded the album Songs for Pierre Chauvin. I don't know how you pronounce it. What the heck? And this is all done on boombox, and this is raw, and you can hear when he's leaning back when he's playing guitar or whatever, because sometimes his voice drifts away from the microphone. But he's just an incredible songwriter. Did I say that before? And the next album is called Getting Into Knives, but this is a full band thing. And when he gets to the lineup of like Peter Hughes on bass, John Worcester on drums, and Matt Douglas playing, piano and flute and saxophone stuff, when he starts adding those guys to the band, they are truly unstoppable. One of the best bands around, because there's so many dynamics in the music, and the chemistry between the musicians is absolutely fan-friggin-tastic. The next album is 2021's Dark in Here, and this album was recorded just 1 week after the last album. I don't know how this guy does it, but he's always creating something new and surprising with every release. I mean, there's definitely a Mountain Goat sound, but it's one that you keep wanting to go back to over and over again. And the next album, 2022's Bleed Out. This album was inspired, as you can tell by the cover, by action films from 60s, 70s, 80s, and it's really a wonderful, wonderful release. And then finally, the brand new album, if you are a pop lover like I am, everything that came before just sort of comes out on this album. This is my favorite Mountain Goats album. It's called Jenny from Thebes, or it could be Thebes, or I don't know. Remember, I can't even pronounce Jenny from. So this is really incredible mix of songs. This entire catalog is just rich with wonderful, surprising melodic songs that would just, touch you emotionally on many different levels. It's really fantastic. And this is the latest album. Now, John Darnielle has worked with a bunch of other people. One project that he was involved with is a band called the Extra Glens, which is a duo he formed with Franklin Bruno from Nothing Painted Blue, and they put out an album in 2003, but then their next album came out as the Extra Lens, and that came out in 2010, and that's an album called Undercard, and that is it. I mean, these are albums that you can listen to over and over again, find something new, find something different. So I've put together a 7-minute medley featuring excerpts from, I don't know, roughly 20 songs, something like that. That's just going to give you an idea. Now, this is not in chronological order. This is just me presenting their music to you so you can hear it firsthand. And I hope you dig it. So go ahead, sit back, relax, give this a listen, and I will see you on the other side.
I am gonna make it through this year if it kills me. I am gonna make it through this year if it kills me. Placing his faith in the strength of the safety visor. Placing his faith in the strength of the safety visor. Leaving only slightly diminished, older but wiser. I'm doing this for revenge. I'm doing this to try and stay true. I'm doing this for the ones they left a twist in the wind. I'm doing this for you. But the world forgot about Gene Loves Jezebel. Yeah, the world forgot about Gene Loves Jezebel. Bringing the cadaver, stiff and dark. Bringing the cadaver, stiff and dark. Never light outside yet when they climb into the van. Remember at your peril, forget the ones you can. Long black night, morning frost, I'm still here, but all is lost. I eat half my crispy chicken club. I get extra mayonnaise, it's a mess. I take the other half back to the parking lot with me. Pop the trunk and take a picture of my dress. I try to remember what life was like long ago, but it's gone, you know. Climb the turnbuckle high, take 2 falls out of 3, blackout for local TV. Crawl till dawn on my hands and knees. God damn these vampires for what they've done to me. only one way out. There's only one way out. There's only one way through, no matter what you do. I saw you waiting by the roadside. You didn't know that I was watching. Now you know. Let it all go. Let them all go. Let it all go. Show up 5 minutes early as usual. Work on just a couple hours back. Your bones don't rock. They stay hard as diamonds. They cut through steel. When the villagers come to my door, I will hide underneath the table in the dining room, knees drawn up to my chest. When the villagers come to my door, I will breathe shallow breaths from high up in my stomach. Waiting for the front door to splinter. Waiting all winter. You've been waiting for this ever since you were young. Be careful not to choke on your tongue. Get famous. You should be famous. Go on and get famous. As you open up the door, but I'm out of my element. I can't breathe. I'm out of my element. I can't breathe. We who travel by starlight, we who slipped past your guards in the night, we come before you now. We come before you now. We who boldly lay claim to our own, we who've seen the chamber of the one true throne. You were headed home at 80 miles an hour with your fingers sweating under your gloves. Everyone deserves a little light in their hair. Everybody needs to love and be loved. That's what all the people say anyway. I can save my thoughts for another day. I used to live here. 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 It's like a trash can fire in a prison cell, like the searchlights in the parking lots of hell. I will walk down to the end with you, if you will come all the way down with me.
Well, that's it. I hope that this inspires you to check out the music of the Mountain Goats. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, to ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.